A buzzkill on Eli Lilly, the stock finishing the session down over 6% after the company missed Q3 earnings estimates. They also cut full-year guidance on disappointing numbers for its blockbuster weight loss drug. Still, our next guest sees a prime buying opportunity. Jared Holz is a healthcare sector strategist at Mizuho. Jared, great to have you with us.
Thank you.
There are a lot of questions as to what was behind this miss in the third quarter. I think that goes, to answer that question is to understand why Lilly would be a buy. So do you have an answer when it comes to the company's line that wholesalers were destocking in the quarter?
Well, I don't think we really have enough information to, completely understand the dynamics that happened in the third quarter. I think we're really only into the third full launch of Zepbound and the second full year of Mounjaro. So it's a little bit tough to go back and search for a trend that kind of makes sense, that leads us to a definitive answer here. Some of the destocking that they talked about, I can see that based on what they said in the prior period about a lot of the distributors and the channel building up. And so I think part of this was it drifting the other way. The question is, why wasn't there additional restocking at the rate that we would have all thought, considering the demand and, what we've discussed so many times here?
So in your view, is there any question about demand?
No, there's no question about demand. I think part of it is understanding, the pace of which patients are starting, the pace of which they are moving on to the next dose. Is that affecting the channel's, buying patterns? Are they trying to understand how patients are taking the drug, what doses, and over what time period? I think all of these are factors we don't really know. It's sort of like an opaque market. We have patients taking this for obesity purposes, for non-obesity purposes. It's not totally clear. And then the other thing that I think is very, very tough to kind of navigate is this whole, other market, which is the compounders and Hims and Hers and these other businesses that are taking some market share that we really can't see.
Although they said that it was de minimis. I mean, they really played that down as in terms of an impact there.
Right.
Yeah.
A couple things. We traded down to the August 5th low and bounced. That's a good sign. But was the sell-off the quarter, or was it David Rick's inability to sort of explain what was going on? I mean, I know it's some combination of the two, but some of the answers were questionable at best.
Yeah, I agree. I think the main reason for the stock sell-off to me is that you need a beat for a stock trading at all-time high with the valuation where it is versus the rest of the group. But I agree. I don't think he answered, at least initially, some of the questions that everyone was looking for answers on, as far as why was the destocking, which he said was not all that material. I think he said it was a mid-single-digit variance. The misses that they showed today were larger than that. So you've got to beat that Mounjaro line item. You've got to beat Zepbound. And they didn't. I
mean, that was a $600 million miss on Mounjaro. So it wasn't like a tiny little thing.
And that's those are the two drugs that I think most investors thought were shoo-ins, especially Zepbound. Right. When you look at it sequentially, it barely grew, right? So third quarter over second quarter for a drug that's only doing about $1.7 billion or so is not great.
So let's turn to competition, both their own in-house and elsewhere. When do you expect that to be something that's relevant for actually making it dents in the road for Novo and for Eli Lilly?
Right. I think this upcoming Amgen data that we're going to get before year end, to me, that's the biggest one. We've already seen a lot of good data from Viking. So they're kind of out there. They're going into phase 3. I think they look fairly credible, but it's a long road. The Maritide for Amgen, I believe, could be something that winds up being discussed as a real competitive threat. If the dosing and the safety are good and Amgen can really market this as a less frequent injection and the numbers look fairly comparable, I think that will be, for a large cap pharma, large cap biotech player that's credible with a big sales force, that could be it.
All right. You're like an honorary trader here.
He is.
So would you rather,
Nice.
Eli Lilly or Amgen
up, by the way.
here?
Oh, my gosh. I think I would rather take Eli Lilly. I just don't love the variability with Amgen. We don't know what we're going to get. I don't love the risk profile because I truly don't know how to handicap the move, how much it could go up, how much it could go down. Although I do feel like they will have something they move forward with. Just based on their commentary, there's 10 different doses they're looking at. Yeah. One of them is probably going to work. So it's probably a trading long. But I think Lilly down here is a good buy, too.